I know exactly what you have been told your entire life. You cry too easily. You are too emotional. You need to toughen up. Why do you take everything so personally? Maybe you have learned to keep it together in public. Maybe you wait until you are alone. Maybe afterward you feel embarrassed or ashamed for reacting the way you did. At some point, you probably started wondering if something is wrong with you, but today, I want you to hear this clearly. The story you have been told about yourself is incomplete. Let me direct. You are not broken, you are not dramatic, you are not immature, and you are definitely not alone. People who cry easily are not failing at life. They are not weak minded. They are not emotionally unstable. They are experiencing the world in a fundamental different way. And that difference matters. Psychology doesn't actually describe you as too emotional. It describes you as a high emotional processor. But I prefer a simpler term. You are not someone who can't handle emotions. You are a deep feeler. While most people experience emotions at a moderate level, your internal system runs at a high much resolution. And today, we are going to look at the neuroscience that explain why this is not a flaw to fix. It's a different kind of emotional hardware. This is not just about personality. This is biology. Research shows that people who cry often have higher emotional reactivity. This limbic system, the brain's emotional center, responds more strongly to emotional input. So when something is sad, it doesn't feel mildly sad. It feels deeply sad. And when something is meaningful, it doesn't feel pleasant. It feels overwhelming. Music, movies, words, they all hit harder. A more responsive nervous system. Your body detects emotional stress faster than average. That's why tears don't allow show up with sadness. They show up with frustration, relief, gratitude, emotional overload. This is not poor emotional control. It's a fast emotional signaling. Think of emotion like volume levels. For most people, the volume is set around a 4 or 5. For you, it's closer to 9 or 10. You're not feeling too much. You are feeling more clearly. While others receive a basic signal, you receive the full message. That clarity can be intense, but it's also so powerful. Here is the part where most people misunderstand. You don't just feel your own emotions. You absorb the emotion of others. This happens because of high mirror neuron activity. Mirror neurons allow us to empathize, but in your brain, they don't just observe emotions, they stimulate it. When someone else is hurting, your chest tightens, your throat closes, your eyes fills. People might say, "Why are you crying? This is not even about you." But neurologically, it is. Your brain is mirroring their emotional state as if it were your own. You are not overly sensitive. You are highly empathic. You are an emotional sponge in a world that spills constantly. You don't process emotions on the surface. Your brain automatically connects to the moment to past experiences, anticipates future consequences, analyzes emotional meaning. So when someone says something painful, it's never just one sentence. It activates old memories, old wounds, old patterns. Tears don't appear because you're confused. They appear because your brain is processing more emotional data at once. You are not slow to react. You are through. Here's the question no one asks. If crying easily were a defect, if deep emotional sensitivity were a weakness, evaluation would have eliminated it long ago. But it didn't. It preserved it because every group, every tribe, every society needed people who could sense emotional shifts early. You were the one who noticed tension before conflict, sadness before collapse, danger before it became obvious. Your tears are not a malfunction. They are the part of an early warning system. Psychology explains this with a concept called vantage sensitivity. Some people are like dandelions. They are resilient. They grow almost anywhere, good environment or bad. They were almost fine. Others are like orchards in loud, harsh, emotionally chaotic environments. Orchids struggle more, and for years, orchards blames themselves. But here's the truth. When orchards are placed in the right environment, with the right pace, the right boundaries, the right care, they don't just survive, they outperform. They bloom with a depth and complexity that dandelions never reach. If you cry easily, you're not weak, you are an orchid in the wrong climate. So here is the shift that changes everything. Stop trying to toughen up. Stop trying to become less emotional. Stop treating your sensitivity like a problem. You can't change your you can't change your rating, and you shouldn't want to. What you can change is how emotional noise you absorb, how often you reset and rest, how firmly you protect your boundaries. Crying is not a failure. Crying is emotional release, nervous system regulation, psychological honesty. Your system is not broken, it's just operating at higher resolution. The next time tear shows up and that familiar voice says, "Why I am like this?" Pause. And remember this: you don't cry because you are weak, you cry because you feel deeply. And in a world that's becoming more disconnected, the ability to feel deeply is not a burden, it's a rare human strength.